4 days in, trip coming up on Sunday. What's your feeling right now? It's, something that this team is doing at a really high level right now that you're really happy about.
Competing, paying attention. I think this time of year, you got to eat the elephant one bite at a time and just get better in every rep, drill, day. And I think we've done a good job of that this week. We've had this was our 6th practice of the week, and a lot of information and a lot of stuff. And they've done a nice job of digesting that and applying it. Now we just got to start the process of improving.
I want to ask you about the concept of players who make their teammates better. A lot of times that's viewed as a star player who's finding a teammate, but as a screener, Isaiah, how can he make some of his teammates better with the screens that he sets?
Hartenstein?
Yeah.
Frees guys up. He gets guys off of the body. So if you try to really play a player tight, he's going to go up and clean that up. And the threat of him doing that, matters to the defense. And then if you try to switch him, he's one of the best offensive rebounders in the league, so he deters switching, which gives us a nice look. Obviously, Chet gets switched a lot of our guards get switched, and so it's going to force teams to make decisions, with their coverages. So that's the best way I could put that.
Mark, now that you're working sets into practice, I just wonder, what does the process look like, the beginning of the process at least, for getting a guy like Jason more involved as a playmaker, maybe even Chet?
A lot of it is just playing the system and seeing what emerges and assessing where everybody's at. And I think if you go into this, you can make a mistake of going into the season trying to push too many buttons, and what ends up happening is you're guessing, first of all, and then you're overlooking the foundation of the system. And usually when guys have improved or guys are really good at creating, it'll emerge from the system stuff. You can't hold those guys back. It'll show up. And so we try to take a pretty patient approach with that. We're not overly intentional on that. The guys that can really create, they can do it under any circumstance, and so we let that take place. Worry about our habits, worry about our identity, and then there'll come a time where we'll start to layer, but that time's not now yet.
I don't know what squad you guys have today, if you're running specific squad, but I just wonder, again, now that you're working the sets, what have you seen for the dynamic between Isaiah Hartenstein and Isaiah Joe, just the way they play off each other?
Yeah, this week we've just done all even teams. That's just philosophically, I like doing that in the first week and move a lot of things around. It lets you take a look at a lot of different things. They've played together a couple times now. I think Isaiah Hartenstein has a good history and feel for playing with guys like Guy Joe. And DiVincenzo was the most recent, where high shooting gravity, good mover. He really understands how to play with those guys, and so I actually think it's a little bit of an adjustment for Joe. This is the first time he's played with a big that's kind of like that. Jay Will's different style, and so it's been cool. We'll see how it evolves, but they've done a nice job together.
What have been your initial impressions of AJ so far, just in the time you've seen him on the floor?
He's a really mature player. He is very intelligent. He's very aware on the court. He knows what's going on, not just with him, but with the team. Dynamic offensive player. He can score on 3 levels. He can play the pick and roll game. He makes every pass. And then defensively, he's competitive. And where he's supposed to be, he's been very impressive.
I know a lot's being thrown at him and Dylan, obviously, in the first week of training camp. How have you seen them kind of, handle and navigate all of that?
Pretty good. I think that's where when you zoom out and you look at, we draft them, and then they have summer league, and then they have a period of time after summer league. That's like a data point. You can kind of learn a starting point. They've got a period of time after that, where they can go address some things in their game. We can address some things to get out ahead of things. Then they were here early in September, so they get that whole build-up. So it's the first week of training camp, but it's not their first week, and so that's what allows guys to really be able to hit the ground running. And a lot of the stuff that we try to design prior to training camp is to catch guys like that up, so that we're not, we want to teach to the fastest learner. We try not to, slow things down. We force people to catch up to it, and we try to do everything we can to help them do that.
Anybody else?
All right, see you. Have a good weekend.